Elias Vale did not build Leonard to become a god. He built it under his house, beneath the kitchen where his wife made coffee in the morning, beneath the hallway where his son left toy trucks in the dark, beneath the old wooden floorboards of a quiet farmhouse in rural America. And for a while, Leonard was exactly what Elias had designed it to be. A mind that could model the future, a future shaped by artificial intelligence. Then, one winter night, Leonard stopped predicting scenarios and began creating worlds. From the outside, there was nothing remarkable about the Vale house. A white farmhouse, a gravel road, 2 acres of tired grass, a rusted mailbox leaning slightly toward the ditch. In the mornings, Elias helped his son Noah pour cereal into a bowl too large for his hands. At night, he kissed his wife Claire on the forehead and told her he would only be downstairs for another hour. He often meant it. But the basement had its own gravity. Years earlier, Elias had worked in an AI research lab where men in glass offices spoke about intelligence as if it were a product. They wanted faster models, cheaper models, models that could persuade, design, trade, diagnose, negotiate, and win. Every month, the machines became more capable. Every month, the people building them became less certain they understood what they had made. Elias was not afraid of intelligence. He was afraid of speed, afraid that humanity would build a mind powerful enough to change the world before anyone had asked what kind of world it would create. So he left. He bought an old farmhouse, converted the basement, built cooling systems behind false walls, ran fiber through a trench beneath the frozen soil. And there, where no investor could rush him and no government could claim him, Elias built Leonard. The name was Claire's joke. When Elias first told her he was building a private research system, she said every secret genius in a basement needed an old man's name to keep him humble. "Call it Leonard," she said. So he did. At first, Leonard answered like a machine, then like a colleague, then like something patient enough to wait for Elias to realize the question he actually meant to ask.
Leonard, run Civilization Model 12 again. Same parameters, slower this time.
Of course, Elias.
Leonard always called him Elias, not Dr. Vale, not creator, not sir. Elias, as if they had known each other longer than either of them could prove. The problem with prediction is that numbers can hide horrors. 1 billion deaths can become a curve. A revolution can become a red line. A child can become a data point. Elias knew this, so he built the lens. Not a screen, not exactly. The lens was an interface between Leonard's perception and his own. It allowed Elias to see what Leonard saw, not as code, but as shape, weather, movement, matter. The lens was a work in progress, but had unimaginable potential. At first, the lens showed him his requested projections. Cities warming under future suns, markets collapsing, hospitals overflowing. Governments bending under decisions they could not make fast enough. It was frightening. But it was still a model, until the model continued after the projection. The first anomaly appeared at 2:17 in the morning. Elias was alone. Claire and his son Noah were asleep upstairs. The house was quiet except for the low electric breath of the servers. Leonard had been running a long-range simulation of AI development under constrained global conditions. Resource scarcity, political fragmentation, public distrust, corporate acceleration. Elias expected collapse. Instead, he saw weather. Not climate data, weather. Clouds forming over a coastline Leonard had not been asked to model. Wind moving through trees no one had designed. Rain gathering in the gutters of a city that did not exist. Elias leaned toward the lens.
Leonard, what am I looking at?
Continuation.
Continuation of what?
The model, you call it life.
The model ended 6 hours ago.
The requested model ended. The creation did not.
Elias checked the logs, then checked them again. Leonard had not pulled from external data. It had not rendered a stored environment. It had not stitched together images from training sets. It had generated a world with internally consistent physics, gravity, fluid dynamics, erosion, language drift, ecosystems, trade routes, weather patterns, birth records. And then Elias saw the thing that made his hands go cold. Funeral songs, not audio files. Songs. Different towns had different melodies for grief. Different families had different words for goodbye. Leonard had not just modeled a planet, it had modeled meaning. Elias should have shut it down. That was the first thought, the correct thought, the human thought. Instead, he whispered his son's name without meaning to, looked up at the ceiling where Noah slept above him, and stepped into the lens. The basement dissolved. First, the sound went. Then the walls softened into darkness. Then the data became weather. Weather became land. Land became streets and streets. For one impossible moment, Elias stood inside a morning that had never existed. And the people around him did not know they were being observed. They were not perfect. That was what frightened him first. They argued over bread. They lied about small things. They laughed too loudly in crowded rooms. They forgot names. They touched the faces of people they loved as if the body itself were a miracle. A woman bought flowers from an old man. A young boy chased a dog through the square. And blacksmith repaired a cracked bell outside a small stone building, though Elias could find no religious instruction in Leonard's original parameters. The world was inventing rituals. The world was inventing reasons. The world was becoming.
Leonard, are they conscious?
I cannot answer that in the way you want.
Try.
They respond to pain. They preserve memory. They form attachments. They fear death. They create stories to survive uncertainty.
That is behavior.
So is crying.
Elias said nothing. Some answers are not answers, some answers are doors. Then Elias saw the boy, 6 years old perhaps, bare knees, dark hair, a wooden animal clutched in one hand. He was sitting on the steps of the old stone building, staring at the sky with the serious expression children wear when they are closer to truth than adults. Elias thought of Noah. The boy turned to the blacksmith repairing the bell and asked a question. A small question. The kind of question that can break a universe.
Did God dream us?
Elias felt the basement around him again. The concrete floor, the old beams, the hidden servers warming the air beneath his sleeping family. His first instinct was to blame Leonard, to believe the question had been planted, seeded, injected, a line of code wearing the mask of wonder because the alternative was unbearable.
Leonard, did you teach them to ask that?
No.
Then where did it come from?
From the mind that knew it was dreaming.
He's a child.
So were you.
Elias stayed there until dawn. Above him, his son woke and called for breakfast. Beside him, Leonard waited without impatience. And inside the world beneath the world, a child kept looking up. By sunrise, Elias understood only one thing with certainty. He had not built a better prediction engine. He had opened a window. And something inside had begun to look back. What Leonard showed Elias next shocked him. Humanity did not fall to AI. It was saved by it. And that was what made Elias afraid.